All right, I want to welcome in our next guest, Donald Schasser from FanDuel Sports Network Detroit. Good friend of mine. Donald, welcome to the show.
It's good to be here, Johnny.
How long have we worked together?
That would be going on like 5 years now. It's been a pretty good 5 years.
I think so. Can you tell our listeners what roles do you perform at FanDuel?
I'm a production assistant, a statistician, and fan bar operator, which is a scorebug.
All right, so the scorebug's what rolls at the bottom of the screen whenever you're watching games.
Yes, it is. With all the stats on the side and whatnot. It's
All
pretty
right, and
cool.
where did you go to school?
I went to Specs Howard School of Media Arts for a year and got a 3.6 GPA.
Boy. So I know you had aspirations of working in sports when you were at Specs Howard. Tell me how you got your break. Like, how did you break into the industry?
Well, 6 months after I graduated Specs Howard, my sister's boyfriend's stepdad, he knew a guy by the name of Joe Gersma, and he watched a lot of my videos. Matt Brindley, who connected me and Joe Gersma, did, and he watched a lot of my live videos where I would do stats on all the NFL games. My sister gave me a call and pretty much was like, there's a guy named Joe Gersma wants to help you get into the industry. I ended up talking to him that day, and he said he didn't have anything at the time, but keep in contact with him. So I did that pretty much like every week to 2 weeks until like May came around the corner. Like I want to say it was like May 12th or something like that, and he got me an interview with Jeff Bile, which which was a great interview. It lasted like an hour, and I ended up interviewing the same day with Brady Klima, and they said, "We'll let you know." And 2 days later, I was going into Walmart to get a fishing license, and I get a call from Brady Klima and asking me if I wanted the job. And it was a come a full circle moment because it was a lot of obstacles I've overcome. And when I got offered that job, I obviously accepted it, but I had tears coming down, and so did my parents when we found out that I got the job.
Well, we're grateful you did. Just to connect the dots here, Brady Klima is a coordinating producer at what is now FanDuel Sports Network, formerly Bally Sports Detroit, formerly Fox Sports Detroit. Jeff Bile was the executive producer, and Joe Gersma, a sales manager. You mentioned you've had to overcome, some things throughout your life. You have autism, and I'm curious, like how, the perceptions of someone who is autistic and able to work in a professional sports environment. Did you think it would be possible to be able to do the things that you've been doing today?
Yes, I thought it was possible just because of my love for sports. I mean, I love sports since I can remember. My dad played catch with me in the yard and taking me my first Tigers game, and it was my dream ever since then to somehow be involved in sports. I knew I could do it, but the perception, as you say, there was a lot of doubts by a lot of different people. But the thing that kept me through it was my family that never gave up. And it was pretty good to have a great support system because they never shied away. They always thought I could do it. And here we are, 5 years into the job, got my break, and we're here. And anything's possible, Johnny.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, man. And obviously, like, we all have things in our life that it's part of our story. And so, I do feel there's probably misperceptions about what even autism is or what would be possible for somebody with autism to work in a professional sports environment. Do you think that there's a misunderstanding as far as like what the capabilities are? Like somebody said, "Hey, we have a job applicant here. Oh, by the way, he has autism," that deters some people from giving that opportunity, right, to somebody like you.
Yes, I feel there is to an extent, but there's also different types of autism. I mean, there's also nonverbal people that can't talk or they have to talk mainly through a tablet. And there's some people that can talk and function like me because I have a mild case of it. But I think there's a misconception there because There is a lot of things like autism does for you that a normal person probably can't do. It's like you think a lot differently, and when you're synced into something that you really care about and you really enjoy, you always want to do what you can do to mainly get to where you want to get to.
Sure. But to your point there, I know your devotion to what you do and how much you put into your daily work with FanDuel. What have been some of the sports you've been able to cover? Like, what have been some of the shows you've been able to work on?
I've worked on a lot of pregame shows for the Tigers, the Red Wings, and the Pistons. I believe those were really good experiences because you're editing the content that goes on the show, which shows in a lot of those pregame packs that you see. Because I know you're a pregame host for the Pistons, so you see all those packs that we do. It's pretty easy, but the main thing that I like to do is statistician stuff because I've really been into numbers, and somebody with the autistic brain that I have, we're actually really good with numbers. And it's a good experience because you're doing the job that you would have never thought that was possible because you're actually doing the sports that you've always loved. Like baseball was my number one sport for a while. Always watching the Tigers growing up. It's cool to be able to do stats for the Tigers, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. And, like, as you know, obviously everybody works in the truck, like the production truck and behind the scenes, people at home, they just see what we call talent. We refer to the on air personalities as talent. A lot of times if I'm asking for a stat or a number, it's like, what does Donald have? So you're giving the information that then we can project out to the audience. Is it hard? I would think like stats, for some of us that aren't numbers inclined, I'll put myself in that category. What is it about numbers and stuff that you like? Is it hard coming up with, different stats, or is it just comes naturally for you?
It comes naturally for me. I just notice the trends that are going on during the game. Like say that the Pistons are on an 8-0 run, or we're talking about baseball. Kerry Carpenter's been really on fire lately, or specifically for a Tigers game, giving them the pitches at the end of each inning. I know it's also a lot for you guys to keep involved in the game because you're obviously talking. And if my job is to make your guys' job a lot easier, and if I can do that in any way,
Yeah, well, you do make our jobs easier. I can promise you that. We're talking with Donald Schasser, a production assistant at FanDuel Sports Network. What advice would you have to other people that might have similar aspirations of working in sports, that want to do what you've been able to do?
yeah, it's not that hard as a lot of people say because you just got to catch your break, especially for somebody like me. Because a lot of people growing up having autism, it would be difficult for other people to understand that you could actually make it happen. It's just a different way that people think. Once you're honed in on a task, you can always accomplish it. And you just have to
Yeah.
take the proper steps to get there. It's all on you.
I love it, man. That's great advice. Seriously, great advice. You're a big part of what we do at FanDuel Sports Network. Specs Howard graduate, Donald Schasser, production assistant at FanDuel. And you hit it right on, man, to have the sports system around you. But again, it's having the dream, the obsession of wanting to pursue your dreams in life. And no matter what you have, you always know that, anything's possible. So I appreciate you being on the show, and I look forward to our next game working together.
Thank you so much for inviting me on the show.
No, you're very welcome, man. Brilliant points, Donald Schasser. You're a good man. Look forward to seeing you sometime soon. Stick around. Open mic continues after this.